Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We will continue to follow the usual format for these press conferences. If you wish to ask a question, please raise your hand, and we will then promote you from an attendee to a panelist. And as always, we will record the entirety of the press conference and circulate it around this group later this afternoon. Jeremy, if you want to kick us off, please, from Sky.
Sure. Hi, Daniel. How are you doing?
Jeremy, hi. All okay. Thanks a lot.
Good stuff. Can we just get an update on the injuries first of all? Zimmerman, Giannoulis and Sargent, are they okay to play this weekend?
Yes, Christoph Zimmerman is out due to an ankle injury. He will also probably miss the next week. So he's not available for tomorrow. And also Przemysław Placheta is out still due to the symptoms of out of COVID-19. So they will both miss the game. Some good news with the other lads. Dimitrios Giannoulis, after his neck and back problems, he's back in training. In the beginning of the week, he was still a bit stiff, but since a few days, also back in training, and also right now he's fully fit and also available for the game. Josh Sargent was struggling with a minor hamstring injury. Did some individual work and part integrated work in the beginning of the week. But since Wednesday, then he's back in full team training, and the last 2 days were all right. We have to check a little bit if he's then really available also for 90 minutes. But he's definitely also a topic for the squad, and good news with him. Yes, in addition to that, we had some concerns about Jacob Lungi Sørensen. He was struggling with a dead leg during this week, but he could train today, so. He seems to be all right, and also a few concerns about Pierre Lesmelou. He was struggling with illness in the beginning of the week, was out, so thank God, no COVID, but he had the flu anyhow, and for that, a few problems. We also have to check how fit he's really also for the 90 minutes, but they both will be available. So they were both with us on the training pitch today, and that means they're both available.
Sure. It's only the 5th game of the season, Daniel, but already it feels like a must-win game. Is that the way you see it?
No, not at all. Not at all. So it's, so the outside world is quite often pretty quick in judging a game with must-win games. Anyhow, I even heard this expression once we had to travel to Arsenal, and I thought myself, for Norwich City, only self-funding club on this level, newly promoted side, then to play at the Emirates, full-packed Emirates. Arsenal really on it, and it's a must-win game for us. No, it's not at all. So we want to win points in each and every game. Yeah, we are highly motivated, but for us on this level, not one game is easy anyhow. And for that, of course, we want to win points in the home games. That's definitely for sure, especially in the home games. But it doesn't differ if it's a game against Liverpool or against Watford or whatever. So it's more like in each and every game, we want to make sure that we are there with a top performance and give ourselves a chance to win points. And if we perform like, for example, in the last 2 games, home game against Leicester, but also the away game at Arsenal, I think then we definitely have a chance also to win points. And this is also what we want to do, to deliver with a good performance. And then we also have a chance to win points. Yes.
But it is a newly promoted team, and Watford have got a really good record against you as a manager. You've lost all 4 games as Norwich manager against Watford. They're a bit of a bogey team for you, aren't they? Can you explain why?
Yeah, that's right. I think first of all because they're a really, really good side. So we played them 2 years ago on Premier League level. We were in both games pretty close also to win against them. But we were on the losing position in the end. And also last season, Watford was one of the best teams on championship level, and it was difficult. So they had a good win against us at home. I think just one decisive goal. It was a pretty tight game, and the second game was just, I think, 3 hours before we were just promoted, and I couldn't judge this game in a proper manner, if I'm really honest, because anyhow the team was. I think still. Oh no, it was after the celebration. We just a couple of days before we were promoted. It was then difficult, but Watford's a good side, and they kept all their key players. They kept, for example, players like Sarr, and have also brought in some experienced players with King, with Sissoko. So really difficult side, and this also the explanation why it's not a must-win game. We have lost both of our games in last season against them and still won the title anyhow. So of course we want to be successful, we want to be better with better results in compared to last season anyhow. But it's not a must-win game. It's just an important game like all the other games on Premier League level are. And for that we know that we have to be at our best in order to be successful in this game.
Just finally from me, Daniel, you gave debuts last weekend to Andrew and Christos. Did they do well enough to keep their places? And what about debuts this weekend for Ozan Kabak and also Matias Norman?
Yes, we will see. So first of all, many compliments to Andrew and also to Christos for their debut. I think they were for such a young age, and then to be there with the debut, outstanding. And it's good to have them as options. And the same also with Ozan and Matias. They're great options to have. We must not forget with Ozan, for example, his last competitive game on league level was in April for Liverpool. So for that, yeah, he had the full training week right now, and he has proven also his quality during the training week, and you could see him growing more or less from day to day. And the same with Matias. So it's more like first time in English football, and had also a few problems during preseason, but he's also growing from day to day. And they have a good option to be involved if they are in the starting lineup. Yeah, we will see tomorrow. So it's not our claim anyhow to give the most debuts in the Premier League away. Our claim is to win as many points as possible. So for that, it just makes sense. It has to make sense, but they have proven also on the training pitch during this week anyhow that they will help us on the mid or the long term. Yeah, and also on the short term. So we just have to find the right moment when we bring them in. And in general, I'm quite pleased with our squad, and we'll show during the season that we are competitive.
Sure. Thanks, Daniel. Good luck.
Thanks a lot, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy. Okay, if we could go to Olivia from PLP, please.
Hi, Daniel.
Olivia, nice to see you.
And you. I just want to, I know you touched on it not being a must-win game. Your season isn't going to be judged on the first 4 games that you've had, because you've arguably had the toughest fixtures in the Premier League. But do you think along the way your season is going to be judged on home games, especially games against Watford and those sorts of teams?
In general, I think we have to judge our season after 38 games, and we take each and every point, even against Man City and Liverpool and Leicester would have liked to win some points and take points in each and every game. And of course, for a newly promoted side, the home games are quite important, and also to be there with a good record perhaps against the other promoted sides is definitely helpful. So for that, we are of course highly motivated also to be successful tomorrow. But in general, so all points are valuable, and we want to be competitive in each and every game, and of course also tomorrow.
And you mentioned that brilliant performance against Arsenal. I was at that game, and I thought, I spoke to Andrew after the game, and he was really disappointed that you hadn't got anything out of it, at least a point. You've mentioned if you play like that, you have a chance of getting points. It's important you stick to your game and you keep doing what you do, and hopefully the results will come if you perform like that.
Yes, like I mentioned, we were disappointed because we were so close to be there with a massive boost and a great result for us at the Emirates. And of course, if the outcome is then lost, you're always disappointed, no matter if we are the underdog or not. So, of course, it was a good performance. The topic is we can't bake us any results. We can make sure that we deliver performances. And this is what I want us to be. So to be always at our best, and to make sure that we are spot on in our game and to deliver a great performance that gives us a chance anyhow then to win points. And on this level, you also have to respect that there are top class opponents. And when the sides like Man City or Liverpool or Leicester are spot on, let's be honest, and quite often they will win the game, although we are there with 1% performance. But we have to make sure that we are always highly motivated, perfectly prepared, and are there with a top performance in each and every game. And then I'm pretty sure, though, if we deliver performances like against Leicester or also like against Arsenal in the last away game, then we give ourselves in many occasions also a chance to win valuable points. And this is also the topic then for tomorrow.
And just finally on Watford, like Jeremy said, you haven't got a great record against them. What have you made of them in their start to the Premier League this season? And do you think it'll be a slightly different game to when you faced them last season in the Championship, or are you expecting a similar one?
No, it's a different game. Of course, they have their special approach and the style of play, and they haven't changed anything. But they kept. They were a really good side already last season. Like you mentioned, we've lost both games. The second game was under a bit difficult circumstances because, yeah, probably my players have drunk a little more pints than water for the game because we were just promoted. It was a bit difficult, but it's a different picture right now. So and it doesn't matter. So perhaps. Yeah, at least I could live really, really well last season that we didn't win any point against Watford. If it means then we can win the points right now during this season, I will definitely take this. We are respectful, so they are unbelievable structured side, a well-structured side. They've had also some experience with players like King, like Sissoko, really top players also for this level with a great CV, and they are always difficult to break. So their basement is always like a really, really solid foundation, a solid defending behavior, and it's difficult to open them. And yeah, they had a really good start against Aston Villa in the first game. After that, yeah, they also suffered a few defeats, but that's quite normal also for a newly promoted side. Yeah, it's you will have to accept that you sometimes lose games on this level, and for that we are respectful but not fearful, and want to prepare ourselves in a perfect way in order to be successful too.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thanks, Olivia. Thank you.
Thanks, Olivia. Okay, Tom Williams, please, from the BBC.
Okay. Yeah. Can you see me okay?
All good, Tom.
Okay, great. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Tom.
Given what's happened so far, does that add to the pressure tomorrow?
No, you have pressure in each and every game in general on this level. It doesn't matter. We had pressure when we went to Arsenal because we want to be there with a good result. And let's be honest, if we win this game tomorrow, then everyone say, okay, back-to-back wins are important anyhow. Unbelievable pressure in the next game. It's important, crucial game. If we lose this game, then we speak about even more pressure at Everton. On this level, you have pressure each and every game day. So for that, nothing has changed so far for us.
Is it easy for you to remain upbeat, to keep the mood high? I mean, the Premier League is so unforgiving, isn't it?
Yes, we are also disappointed. I'm also unbelievably disappointed, if I'm honest. So if we lose a game of football straight away after the game, I could also kill it, if I'm really honest. But I think it's important also to show this mentality that we are willing to accept that we will suffer at times on Premier League level. And I think this will also be the key for us if we can establish ourselves as a established Premier League side. So once we think after each and every game, we start to doubt ourselves and to criticize ourselves and to feel sorry for ourselves and start to moan and lose the trust in the players and the process and in the club, then we don't have any chance. So I think there are just two options. So if we want to win each and every game, and then we have to say, okay, listen, we don't take part in the Premier League. Then we go for Championship or even better League One, and say, okay, listen, then we can win many games and can be 14 games unbeaten and can celebrate ourselves and enjoy ourselves and celebrate how good we are and then speak about how even on Premier League level we will beat all the teams who will fight for Europe and something like this. But then we can't take part in the real Premier League, if I'm honest. So if we want to establish us as a club on Premier League level, we have to make sure that we also have this mentality. Yes, we are also willing to accept to suffer because we are the only self-funding club on this level. And let's be honest, if we are there with a top class performance, our best possible performance, and we play against Man City and Liverpool, and they are also at their best, we will lose the game. And it's important that we stay positive. Yeah, also after of course we are disappointed when we lose a game, and also in a pretty clear manner against Man City, for example. But you have to say So no team has conceded less goals than we did at Man City so far in all competitions. So even all the other sides on Premier League level and also even on Champions League level, yeah, the opponents concede 6 at the Etihad. So we have to accept this. We have to accept this. That it's sometimes tricky. Or yeah, when we lose a game at the Emirates after a really good performance where we had more possession than the home side and was really unlucky, and we lose this game with one decisive goal, and this goal was more or less 5 minutes analyzed by VAR anyhow, then you can't say it's the end of the world anyhow. It was a good performance, and yeah, it was unlucky for us in this game to lose, and we have to accept this. But if we then start to doubt ourselves too early, or to criticize ourselves, or to lose the trust in the process and the players, we have no chance anyhow to establish ourselves on Premier League level. If I'm really honest, in the last 2 or 3 decades, we were struggling a little bit in order to establish us as a club on Premier League level. And for me, if I'm really honest, this is the key to stay positive after 1 or 2 results. I think we also, our supporters had to learn anyhow to suffer a little bit on Premier League level in the last 2 or 3 decades, and so we are used to it. But the key will be that we are also stay positive and don't lose the trust in the process, and don't lose the trust in ourselves. I think this is quite important. And also it's also a bit the same with my players. So yes, and sometimes after defeats, anyhow, I hear some criticism of some of my players. It's important that we stay unbelievably positive. Yeah, for example, in the first games, yeah, my centre backs, Ben Gibson and Grant Hanley, were criticized a bit because we conceded a few goals, and and it's more like, yeah, not good enough for Premier League level. I think it's important that we stay positive and also respectful. So what these lads have done for this club is unbelievable. Ben Gibson, if I'm honest, I work quite long in this business, but I've never worked with the centre back who is better in his build-up play. He's outstanding with his left foot. What he's doing in the dressing room, he acts like a captain, even if he's not involved anyhow. His personality is outstanding anyhow, and also he's smart in his tackling movements. It doesn't mean that he's always involved in each and every game. So last game, for example, against Arsenal, he was left out of the squad, but it doesn't mean that we can criticize him anyhow for the games before anyhow. So it's more like we should be all so happy and so proud that we have a player like Ben Gibson or Grant Hanley. He was a massive rock in the last season. He was outstanding, our club captain anyhow, and he's so important for us as a game. Yeah, of course, as a centre back, when the team concedes goals, and yeah, sometimes you are involved in conceding goals, but it's important that we don't be too overcritical with them. We need them. We need these players anyhow to lead, and you can go more or less through each and every position. I know sometimes there's also a bit like, yeah, Lucas Rupp is sometimes not a fan favorite. I know this. He's sometimes there are some raised A-bros when he's in the starting lineup. But believe me, if you would ask the players anyhow who train with them each and every day on the training pitch, he would be for more or less each and every player the first player on the team sheet. Really, the first player on the team sheet, because no other field player is that experienced like Lucas on this level. No other player covers more ground like Lucas on this level. No other player wins more possession back for us like Lucas on this level. When you watch the game really carefully back against Arsenal, in terms of his defending behavior, how many situations he repaired and how often he wants the ball back, this was Oliver Skip level, if I'm honest. Yeah, I know Lucas Rupp, with all respect to him, but he's perhaps not playing football that's sexy like Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, he's LR7, not CR7 anyhow. He's not Emi Buendia with his magic touch anyhow, with back heel who gets the supporters up from their seat anyhow, and everyone praising. He's more like an unsung hero, but we need this type of players and be competitive, and we also need the support for them. Or for me, even more is also the topic Timo Pukki. So when I think about Timo Pukki, 29, 11, 26. These are the numbers of goals he scored in the last 3 seasons. 29, 11 on Premier League level, 26. I don't want to discuss right now if he's the best striker in the history of the football club. I leave it really with the experts and who have seen each and every strikers anyhow. But I think there's no doubt he's one of the best strikers that this club has ever seen. And this player has stick to us after relegation, and he had other opportunities because his blood is already pretty yellow, and he delivers for us always with unbelievable workload, with fighting, with thinking about the team, with workload in his pressing, with assisting. And believe me, I was a striker. It's difficult if you play against Man City and you just have to run after the ball. It's difficult to shine in the opponent's box. But really, I'm struggling also to accept then the comments that's more like, he's too poor, he has to be dropped, he's too old anyhow. For me, the best situation was Jamie Vardy, who is for me also one of the best strikers in this league. He had also a bit dry spell before the game we played against them, and Leicester lost the game against West Ham 4-1. And he had a really poor loss of the ball before the first goal, and the pundit said, watch again, the pundit said, a horrendous mistake of Vardy. How can you lose such a ball? And after this game, I didn't hear one Leicester fan who was asking for, oh, he's not good enough anymore, he has to be dropped, we need to lose his trust into Jamie Vardy. Everyone was like, no, it's not even a question if he plays or not. So we back him, we are there for them. And then he came to us, and what happened? Yeah, after a few minutes, he scored a goal. He was allowed then to celebrate with everyone. But because everyone backed him and was there for him. If we right now start also to question our best players, our players who have delivered so much for us as a club, this is a moment when we then will struggle to establish us on Premier League level. And this doesn't mean that Ben Gibson is always in the starting lineup. He was not, for example, against Arsenal. That doesn't mean that Lucas Lopez is always in the starting lineup. He was not against Leicester. We lost the game, by the way, when he was not in the starting lineup. This doesn't mean that Timo Pukki is always in the starting lineup or each and every minute on the pitch. But what we have to make sure that for these players who have delivered so much for us as a club, I think it's important to stay positive and that we back them and that we show them respect and that we also accept, okay, on Premier League level, it's more difficult to shine for Timo like he was able to shine on Championship level. On Premier League level, it's more difficult to shine for Grant Henley than he was able with many clean sheets on Championship level. But for the most important topic is for us to stay positive. And it's not a complaint anyhow, because I know that 95% of all our supporters are that positive and can judge it in this way. But if we want to establish really this club on Premier League level, 95 is not enough. We need 100. We need 100%. We are special to any other club with our self-funding model. And we also need to be special in creating this atmosphere. And if a club like Leicester, who is fighting for the title, or at least for Europe anyhow, is capable to do this with its players, I also want us to do this and to stay positive. And it doesn't matter if you support individually these players. Yeah, for example, if you, let's say if I play the next game Bali Mumbai and you think, oh, that's a crap decision, he should play Max Evans on the right back position. Yes, think this, but once I play Bali Mumbai, it's important once his name is announced on the team sheet that everyone backs him and supports him and celebrates him also during the game. And we need this atmosphere that we are united and all together with positivity for all our home games, for all 19 home games, and also in the away games. And you know, our supporters did this against Liverpool in a fantastic way. Our supporters did this during the Leicester game in a fantastic way, because everyone was aware, okay, top class sides anyhow, right now we have to be spot on, we have to help the team. And this was also the reason why we were that competitive. And our away supporters did this at Arsenal, and it had an impact. We were competitive. But we have to make sure that we right now also for this type of games against Watford, it's not like we're coming with this attitude, this is a must-win. Come on, right now they have to deliver. If they're not 3-0 up after 30 minutes, anyhow, we are in a bad mood and we just clap their hands once they are 5-0 up. Right now they have to deliver. No, this team needs our supporters even more in such games, because in such games, of course, we want to win points. And it's easier to be in a good mood and to be positive anyhow against Liverpool. But we need it even more against Watford, against this side. And this is also, I'm asking our supporters a bit for it. We don't need just 95%. We need 100%. And tell you what, it's not the players on the pitch. It's not just the supporters. It's everyone has to be really spot on with positivity, and it has to be greedy in order to help us to get off the mark and to win points, even the ticket office. And if I sell the tickets and say, oh, listen, it will be a difficult day again anyhow, so we will struggle to win the points, or I'm there and absolutely positive, say, okay, come on, this time we are backing the lads and we are behind. And yeah, if I'm honest, if the team sheet is announced and there are a few names on the team sheet where you think, okay, some others should play, yeah, the stadium should explode. Yeah, we should all escalate anyhow and make sure that we have the best atmosphere ever. Because I tell you what, I totally trust these players, and we need all these players, and we need each and every single players in order to achieve our targets. And we need to keep this positivity. And my gut feeling is, in the past decades, we were struggling a little bit to lose the trust and the backing for our approach, and also to value ourselves, what we are doing and trying to achieve on this level, that we are the only self-funding club on this level. Yeah, we play with the backline with Max Evans 21, with Andrew Omamidele 19, with Brendan Williams 21, with Christos Zolis debut 19. Anyhow, which other club does this on this level? We have to do this because we can't afford buying proven Premier League players. But I think once we start to moon about this and it's crap, it's not good enough, and we need to show more ambition and spend 30 million pounds, why can't we all value really that we have a different approach? And sometimes we will suffer, we will lose games. Why can't we speak about, okay, it's not a must-win game. Each and every game is difficult for us on this level. But for that, we have to make sure that we are all spot on when we have games on this level, and that we are all united and go together and are also proud and play football with pride, and also our approach to back our model and to work with these young players, to do this really with pride. And my gut feeling is, if we do this all united, not just 95%, but 100%, then we have a chance anyhow to win as many points as possible, and also as necessary to stay in this league. And I think once we can create this mentality, yeah, we are willing to suffer anyway. We do this since decades here in Norwich in order to establish our Premier League level. But yes, to have the will to suffer, but not to lose the positivity and the trust. If we do this, believe me, we have the chance to win many, many points. And let's create also tomorrow an atmosphere, yeah, that is the best that Cauldron has ever seen, and to get off the mark. And if we do this, yeah, then I'm also quite sure this will help also my players to deliver performance, to deliver result. And then we have all chances anyhow to play a successful season. But we need to keep this positivity. And for that, the question was, if I keep the positivity, yes, I'm also disappointed anyhow. But it's a key part of my job to stay positive and to believe and to show pride in what we're doing, because I want to represent also this yellow shirt in the best possible way. And if we do this all together, then we definitely have a chance.
I'm glad you remembered the question. Well, I think the fans have got something planned that's very special for you when you come in tomorrow. So I think they're going to play their part. So thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Okay, go to Jim from the Press Association, please.
All right, unmuted myself. Start my video with a bit of luck. There we go.
Jim, hi.
Hi, Daniel. Yeah, okay. Certainly a rally call to everybody there. But when you talk about these games not being a must win, not being a must win game, do you generally think that anybody, Norwich fans, actually go along with that? Because I think they can understand the start of the season, the fixtures that you've had, those results, not the performances. I don't think anybody can say the performances weren't there, but those results. But if you then follow that up with not being able to, with you deliver a performance but not a result, which is ultimately what it's all about and what's going to keep Norwich up against teams like Watford, then this type of match is one where, if you say it's not a must win, it's certainly not a must lose, isn't it?
In general, so we must win close to 40 points in order to earn the right to stay in this league. And all in all, this means we probably must win 10 games during the season. But it doesn't matter if we do this against Liverpool or Man City or Watford or Brentford or Crystal Palace or Chelsea. Yeah, in the end, the outcome is we need to come as close as possible to 40 points, and to win at least 10 games anyhow, because we'll also add a few draws then probably, and then it would be enough to stay in this league. So we know this anyhow, and we are disappointed, and all our supporters and my players, the whole club is disappointed if we don't do this. But there is not one game where you can say this is a must game win for us on this level, because like I mentioned, even last season we were by far the best championship side and cut the championship into pieces with 97 points. But Watford is also a top side, and it's so difficult to win points against the best or the sides who are exactly on the same level like you. And for that it was difficult last season. Yeah? And Watford was able to keep all their key players, and they also add lots of experience. It's not an easy game, so I wouldn't label it easier than whatever a home game against Leicester. And we have to make sure that we are again spot on in our performance. And then if we do this, it's also like you can't be always like in a tight game like against Leicester or against Arsenal. And if we do this in Watford, if we do this with consistency, you won't be always in losing position. That's definitely for sure. Then you will win games and you will win points. But it's not like, okay, we press a button anyhow, we go there and are over motivated and over excited or get nervous if you're not 3-0 up after 5 minutes. Even on championship level, we were not up against them. So against Watford, they are so well structured, it's difficult to beat them. You have to be patient. You have to be precise in the final third. You need to show this mentality. Okay, we prepare perhaps 80, 85, 90 minutes in order to create this golden chance in order to score. So we're never anyhow praying just for results and think, okay, right now it's a must win. Anyhow, it's a game where we must deliver a performance. Anyhow, and if we do this, then we have also a chance to be there with a result that we all want. But we are not too addicted to results and what happens on the table. It's more like, yeah, we want to deliver performances. And I got the feeling, so yeah, our supporters, the whole club is exactly backing this, because we can judge it in a proper way. And 95% of all our supporters are doing this already. But I think, and this is also the reason why the club was lacking a little bit in the last decades to establish itself on the top level. 95% are not enough. So even the 5% we need to win, and we need to get their positivity again. And if we do this, then we give ourselves a chance. But yes, we will definitely stay positive and are fully convinced that we can deliver performances and also deliver results. And we still are fully convinced that we have a chance also to win the amount of points that is necessary in order to stay in this league.
You've been very impassioned today, probably more impassioned than we've seen you for a long time. Is it a case of, do you feel maybe people aren't trusting you and the path that you're going on? Because yes, we had the issues with the Premier League, the last time, Project Restart, but ever since then the club has been on an upward spiral, another championship title. But now you're coming to the Premier League again. Is it people are maybe expecting too much too soon from this squad and also from you?
No, it's also I'm also quite calm and cool. I'm not just emotional, so I'm pretty balanced anyhow. It just, for me, it's just important rather to speak about this topic sooner than to speak about this too late. And I got the feeling, so like I mentioned before, so in general, so we are working in a privileged role. We're working in the business where there is lots of pressure, and you have to handle also criticism and also sometimes negativity. That's quite normal. And you can also say, anyhow, yeah, the lads earn enough money. They also have to handle some criticism. So that's quite crucial, and it's okay. But it's more like, it's not for me. I got the feeling, so sometimes for the players, even for my experienced players, when I see how humble and what a brilliant servant a player and a human being like Timo Pukki is for this club and what he has done for this club, I just simply think, yeah, if Leicester, everyone is really capable to pay so much respect to a player like Jamie Vardy, and Leicester is fighting for Europe, yeah, then the newly promoted side should also show this backing, this trust to the striker. Yeah, when the name of Timo Pukki is announced on the team sheet, the whole stadium should go crazy because he's one of the best strikers in history, and not like, oh, perhaps it's a time to drop him or something like this. And I got the same feeling. So it's the same what Grant Henley, what Ben Gibson, what Lucas Rupp deserve. So they do so much in order to represent this yellow shirt. Yeah, it's difficult. Then if on the other side, yeah, are world-class players anyhow, but they try to do their best. And in general, so my gut feeling is we still have enough quality to be competitive, and we've shown this also in the last 2 games anyhow. But we need to stay positive, and I think this is also why so many also successful and really quality coaches were struggling in the last 2-3 decades to establish this self-funding club on this level. But I'm just so unbelievably greedy to manage this. I'm just so unbelievably greedy, yeah, to work against and swim against the tide and work against all the odds, against all the money of all the other clubs. I want even to establish this self-funding club on this level. But for that, we need the whole club. For that, we need the whole community. We need the whole numbers of supporters. And for that, I think it's also important right now to speak a bit, perhaps even a bit too soon about this topic, but rather than to speak about this too late when the negativity has settled. And I also got the feeling, so last days we're still talking about, Watford, also newly promoted side. Anyhow, so it's more like, yeah, it's a must-win game. So I have the feeling now, hopefully we're not coming into the stadium and say, come on, players, entertain us right now. So after 5 goals, we clap the hands. No, we have to make sure that it's really a fortress, Carrow Road, and this is what we definitely need for this game too.
And finally, what do you do, or can you give us maybe a bit of an insight into how you balance things and keep yourself positive when you can't help seeing all of the headlines, the analysis? I'm sure that that the way things are dissected. Do you do anything when you get some downtime away, or do you just have to sit there and keep poring over the goals, replaying everything again? Or do you take a drive up to Sheringham and go for a walk on the beach or something?
No, I don't need anyone to boost me up. Of course, I'm also disappointed in the moment after I lost the game, and like I mentioned, so if I give you an insight of my soul, I could also kill in this moment. Why didn't you score in this situation? Why didn't you defend this situation better? Perhaps sometimes even the referee. Why was this VAR call not in the other way around? Yeah, in this moment I also could kill. But after 1 hour, believe me, I'm working so long in this business, and I have got enough praise. And also in the past, I'm leading a privileged life. I don't need anyone to pick me up for that. Sadly, I'm already much too old, and I've seen much too much in this business. 200 games, by the way, on this level the other day. It's more like I got the feeling, so I need to protect my players because they are much younger. So even the experienced players, they are in their 20s. They haven't had too many games on Premier League level, and it's more like to be there for them. And when I see then sometimes even our most experienced players questioning themselves or struggling a bit with self-confidence, and this is the moments when I got the feeling, no, I need to protect them and not to punish them even a bit more. And believe me, so we are also self-critical and speak about the things how we want to improve, how we want to improve our pressing, how we want to improve our final third, how we want to improve our defending behavior, that we deliver clean sheets, that we score more goals. Yes, we also work unbelievably hard in the meeting room, in the analyzing room, on the training pitch. It's also quite important. But I also want my players to stay positive and to be there in a positive mood. And this is also definitely one of our key topics. And I don't need any boost. So for that, I'm ready to go for them.
Thanks very much for your time. Best of luck in the weekend. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Okay, Jess and Mella, please.
Hello, Daniel.
Jason, hi.
Thank you very much for your time. So I just take you back to April and those celebrations you mentioned after, as you headed into the Watford game last time. Just how good were those celebrations, and how were you a little bit hungover?
Yes, we were. If I'm honest, and can't remember each and every detail of the days, and especially not of the nights. Definitely can remember that I was always one of the first to go home because I'm a little bit older than my players. So for that, I was ready for this Watford game anyhow, and also concentrate on this game. My players probably didn't have the perfect preparation for that. We were struggling a little bit in the second game, but of course, great experiences and great moments, and these moments will live forever. And it's great to have this sometimes in your mind. Yes.
That's part of the game, though, isn't it? There are a lot of down times in football, so you've got to really celebrate the good times as well, haven't you?
That's right. Yeah, no, it's important. So it's also like it's so quick. So quite often even after a successful game, you think then about, okay, how can we make sure that we also are successful in the next game? So there's not that much time to celebrate. And again, there are also some difficult times, like right now, when you face Liverpool, Man City, and Leicester, a bit unlucky result at Arsenal. And it's important also to value the good moments and to celebrate yourself once you're allowed to do this. Yes.
And did you get a little bit of stick from the players for bailing out early, or?
Yes, they are always mooning, and they're always trying anyhow to to be there with a great performance on the microphone, or to drink more drinks. But I still have enough respect that they did in a careful way, because I'm still the boss for them, and everything was fine. Yeah, it was all okay.
That's great. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jason. Okay, Paddy Davitt, please, and then we'll come to Rob Butler for the BBC.
Daniel, how are you?
Paddy, in a good mood. Thank you.
You're in a good mood. Good man. Good man. It feels like you've got a few things off your chest today, mate.
No, I didn't want to complain too much, if I'm honest, and I was not angry or something like this, not at all. So I was a supporter as well when I was a younger person. I was always like mooning about the players once we lost the game, and also pretty quick in judging. Oh, this player is crap, and this is not good enough. And I totally can understand the soul of supporters and football supporters game. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. But if we really want to swim against the tide and break the odds, then we have to be special, and not like the behavior of Daniel Farke, supporter, was 20 years old when he was emotional mooning about players. No, it's more like, then we have to be also special as a club. And if we stay united and keep this positivity, I think this club was lacking a little bit this positivity in the recent years on Premier League level, and started too early to feel too sorry for themselves and to doubt themselves. I think this was the key why we were struggling also a little bit due to limited resources, why we were not able to establish us on this level for a longer period. And this time around is different. We want to do this, and for that I want everyone to encourage really to stay positive and to stay supporting. Really, I've got the gut feeling. So we have a group together this season. I was honest 2 years ago. I told you always, like, we need a little miracle. I'll be honest. So this time around we have a chance, and let's grab this chance with both hands, and let's stay positive.
Spot on, yeah. A couple of quick ones. I was going to ask you about Pukki anyway, and you've made a very clear case why maybe you should show a little bit more respect to that guy. But just in terms of the mechanics of what you're asking him to do now, in terms of his role in general play, are you asking him to do anything slightly different? Because we all know you're trying a little, your base formation, particularly at the top end of the pitch, is maybe slightly different to last season where you had him at the point of it and you had the three maybe attacking midfielders. Is there anything in terms of what you want from him that he's needing to adapt his game a little bit, maybe more playing with his back to goal as opposed to running into the channels, as it were?
Yes, of course. It's a slightly different game this year around in comparison to the last season. We were dominating each and every game with 80% possession. We had perhaps more players behind him who could feed him with passes. Anyhow, we have to make sure also on this season that we are more solid in terms of defending, and we have learned this also from 2 years ago. We had an unbelievable offensive approach, and in the end we conceded too many goals in order to survive on this level. So we're not playing just a football game in order to have a perfect support for Timo Pukki. We play the football game in order to be successful as a Norwich City side, and of course it's more difficult, and when not too many players are behind him to feed him with the passes. So, but that's reality, and I'm also 100% sure that he can handle this situation, and of course he has to work a bit more with the back to the opponent's goal to keep the balls, and also like the first games, he has to get used to it, but he can do this. I know that he can do this, and if we are perhaps sometimes not as close as we were in the last season to the opponent's goal, perhaps even a bit further away, this opens also a bit more gaps for him to sprint into these gaps and to receive the ball. Of course, we've also worked during this week a little bit more in our pressing behavior, because I got the feeling we were lacking a little bit high pressing situations in the last games, and also worked a little bit on how to bring our offensive players a bit better into the game. But if I'm honest, it was also in the first games a bit due to the quality of the opponents. Yeah, when you face Liverpool and the Man City, for example, then you already know that it's quite often a long day, and for a striker and to deliver against Man City when you just have to defend in your own half is not that easy. So again, I want a bit more backing and a bit more respect to what he's done and what he's still doing for us, and he is a key player for us, and will prove this also during this season. He's by the way the only player who scored so far during this season for us. That's also another fact. But it doesn't mean that he's always on the starting lineup. It doesn't mean that he's undroppable anyhow. And there will be. It's a bit like with all the other players I've praised. Yeah, I mentioned how much I value Ben Gibson as a player, but there are a few games like the last game against Arsenal where we need sometimes perhaps a bit different profile, and the same with Lucas Rupp. So it's not like I like him a lot for his skills, but there are games where we need some other skills, and then he's on the bench, like against Leicester, and it could happen to each and every player. So for that, yes, I think it's important that we back our players, that we trust them, don't over criticize them when we lose the game at the Emirates or at the Etihad, and that we still back him, and I'm not overly surprised when Timo Pukki is not scoring the same amount of goals and like he did on championship level, or we concede perhaps a few more goals than we conceded on championship level. Then it's important to stay positive, not to doubt these players too much, and to back them, and also listen. No one is more motivated than these players also to deliver performances, to work unbelievably hard and tough. And it's important that to be not too much like a flag in the wind with these players. Yeah, after a great performance, we all love them. After good 10 minutes, and then there's one difficult game, then we want to send them in the desert anyhow. So it doesn't work like this. And in this moment, I also have to be there for my players and to have to back them.
Okay, and then the final one from me, talking about Matias Norman specifically, he said obviously it might get to a point where he's very close to getting some involvement. Whether that's tomorrow or not, we'll obviously wait and see. But for you, because there was a lot of when he was brought in, that okay, that's Ollie Skip now. We wasn't able to get him. We've got this guy in, and he can do that role. But is he, in your view, because your view is the one that counts, is he a like for like? Is he another Oliver Skip, or has he more elements to his game, maybe more progressive elements in terms of getting higher up the pitch? And is it a little bit like you explained with when Buendia moved on, that you couldn't buy a like for like, you had to bring in maybe multiple players who could share what he used to bring? Is that very similar how you're looking at the replacement for Ollie Skip?
I think it would be too much pressure if we say right now he's the 1-1 replacement for Oliver Skip. Oliver Skip right now is playing and is undroppable for Tottenham in all competitions, and even with injuries, he has to play, and he's a key player for them. And believe me, pretty soon he will also wear the shirt of the Three Lions, and not the under-21, but the proper shirt. I'm quite sure. And he is, even Jose Mourinho spoke about him and said he has captain pedigree for Tottenham. He's right now, Oliver Skip is playing right now for a side who is also a competitor for the title, at least for Europe anyhow, in the best league of the world, and he's undroppable. This says a lot about Oliver Skip. And then a player who comes in from the Russian league to expect anyhow to play straight away on the same level is too much of an ask. But Matias has unbelievable potential. Oliver Skip in the beginning of last season, he was also not the Oliver Skip who has left us in the end of the season. think we can create the same way a bit with Matias. He's also a bit different, perhaps not like that spot on in his in each and every moment in the tactical behavior and the defensive role, because he has also this offensive thinking. He can also initialize attacks. He can play key passes. He can deliver goals and assists. He is there with really good set pieces. Yeah, for example, also for the Norway international team, he takes the corner kicks. I would never allow, with all respect to Oliver Skip, I would have never allowed Oliver Skip to be there with a corner kick. I would have told him, come on, put them straight away into the outside that we can organize against the ball again. So different skills, but both fantastic players, and believe me. So I see also Matias, it's difficult for them because he played in the Russian league, with all respect, but it's not the Premier League, not the English Premier League on this level. But I see him growing from day to day, and I think he will have a great impact also for the mid and the long-term future for our game.
Thanks, Daniel. Thanks for your time. Good luck tomorrow. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paddy. And finally, Rob.
Thanks, Dan. Hi, Daniel.
Rob, hi.
Good to see you. You talked earlier about it not being a must-win in your opinion. Lots of fans are saying it's a must-win. It's a different kettle of fish for the head coach. Is it fair to say it's must not lose, just to try and stop that kind of run of defeats that Norwich are on at the moment?
No, like I mentioned, so there's no replacement for points. There's no replacement for wins. Yeah, of course, to get off the mark would be unbelievably important. Yeah, we know this, but even if it doesn't work, so it's not like we will raise a white flag and say, come on, let's play straight away back on championship level. So we've played four of the best side in this country. We were competitive. Right now we're playing also a promoted side, also a side who has played before relegation 5 years on Premier League level. They were able to keep the whole group together. They were able to add quality like King, like Sissoko, and several other really good players. So it's a difficult game, and it's a must deliver performance. Yeah, we need to deliver a top class performance to give ourselves a chance. And if we do this, then we can also win points in this game. And we are highly motivated and greedy to do this. But it doesn't help if you sit there and pray and we must win this game. We must win this game. We must win this game. It's not so much time for words. It's more like time for actions on the pitch. And we want to deliver a performance, and then we see what the outcome is.
Absolutely. I mean, looking at last season, obviously, it's fair to say it's been a slow start this season. You've just talked about that. And last season, Norwich didn't fly out of the blocks. And, it's that sort of half-time of Rotherham, you lose in, and then things turn around. And then Norwich didn't look back. So I guess that's why you're keeping your feet on the ground, knowing that, teams can start slow, but still get enough points to do what they want to do. And in this case, stay up.
That's right. So it's a season. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So I think 2 years ago it was after we won against Newcastle and Man City. After 5 game days, we had already 6 points on Premier League level. Everyone was praising us, and Sean Dyche said, "Listen, it's not important where you are after 5 games, and it's important where you are perhaps after 25 or 30 games anyhow." And this is definitely a fact. And this was always my attitude. Yeah, last season was a bit due to the hangover of relegation, a difficult start with no preseason. This time around, I think it was also a bit due to the quality of the opponents, and with all respect, but we didn't play, for example, Arsenal in a situation where all their offensive threats were not available. No, in this game they were on it, and all the best players were available. So it was a difficult start in terms of the fixtures, and I'm 100% sure we have the potential at least to be competitive on this level during the season, and we'll fight for it.
Absolutely. You talked a lot about Lucas Rupp and Teemu Pukki today. I won't make you go over all that again, but it's clear that perhaps some of the criticism from some fans has got to you a little bit. Is that fair to say, or did you just want to put it out there that fans need to really back these players?
Not to me, if I'm honest, and if it's just up to me, I would also say, listen, come on, we're working in this business, and we have to handle this. You take all the benefits, and you work in a privileged role and earn lots of money anyhow. Yeah, handle this criticism. But once I realized anyhow, it also starts to work a little bit in their head, and it start them losing a bit the confidence. I think this is the moment when I have to be also in front of the players and to back the players. Again, this doesn't mean that these players are undroppable and will play each and every minute. Yeah, Ben Gibson, I praised him a lot. Yeah, he was not in the starting lineup against Arsenal, and we still lost this game. Yeah, Lucas Rupp, He was not in the starting against Leicester, but we still lost this game. Or Timo Pukki, so he was not each and every minute on the pitch anyhow, but we still didn't score a goal then. So it's not up like to punish a player for perhaps a poorer or a bit disappointing result. So these players, we need these players, and we need to back them and to need to trust them. And I trust all my players, and for that, it's never a guarantee. They always have to deliver on the pitch, on the training pitch. Anyhow, also on the pitch when we are there with the competitive games in the league and the cup, they have to grab their chances and they have to deliver. Otherwise they are dropped. I know this, but once I realize anyhow the criticism is a bit over the line, and I think I also have to be there for my players, because I'm quite calm, I'm quite cool. So for me, it doesn't cause any trouble. I also can understand this. So my emotions also, like when Timo had a good chance in the last 2 games. Or for example, in the second half, he was 2 times blocked, and you think, can't you put the ball in the anyhow curl the ball around in the top corner? Or once my players were involved in conceding a goal, can't the centre back do this better, or the holding midfielder that better anyhow? Or once Lucas Rook puts the ball over the crossbar, come on, do it better anyhow. In this moment, I also criticize them. So for that, I can totally understand this. There's also no complaint about this, but more like to encourage everyone. It's easier, to perform, to deliver in an environment when you got credit, when you are trusted anyhow, and when you are backed anyhow, and then to deliver. It's the same like with children. Where if they come back from the first day after the first exam from school anyhow, and you just punish them anyhow, I'm not sure if the kids really like to go to school and do proper work anyhow. If you are there for them and sometimes to take your arm around the shoulder and help them a little bit, I think then it's easier also to perform. And again, so you can have the attitude, no, they are all adults and they earn lots of money, come on, deliver, entertain me, that's it. Yes, you can have this attitude, or you can have this attitude, no, come on, we help them to perform, we support them, we are there for them. Although in my head I sometimes criticize them, but it's also important that we all back them. I think if we do this, we are more likely to be there with good results, instead of we are punishing and waiting them that they entertain us all alone on this level. This is more like my point.
Yeah, 2 more things. I guess that means, apart from it being a cauldron of noise at Carrow Road tomorrow, you want a cauldron of positivity. That's what you're trying to appeal to fans, and just say, look, back the players, back you as the head coach, back everyone, and then the positivity will grow amongst those players. Like I mentioned, if I play Max Evans tomorrow, and some people think, no, I should play Bali Mumba, things that's not a problem. But once Max Evans' name is announced, I want everyone to back him and to cheer him up and to sing his name. And this should always be once our starting lineup is announced tomorrow. It was against Liverpool that everyone was buzzing and everyone was singing our song on the Ball City. And we need this even more tomorrow. It was easy to do it against first game against Liverpool, spotlight, TV cameras, Jurgen Klopp around. We need this against Watford. We need this even more against Watford. And really, when the team sheet is announced tomorrow, everyone has to be spot on. Even the ticket office has to be with positivity. Our announcer, he has to be a bit like in the boxing fight and to make sure that everyone is buzzing. And then when you say the names, then I want that our stadium escalates anyhow. So this is what I want to have. Anyhow, this atmosphere, it will still not be a guarantee that we win this game. But I think then we create an atmosphere when we support and back this lads from the first and last second. I think it's the best way and the best chance to give ourselves a chance to be successful. And of course, there's also tactical discipline and work necessary. And I do this stuff. I have done this stuff during the whole week with me. So I'm a bit more like for the tactical work, but our supporters, they have the responsibility to create the best atmosphere ever in Carrow Road just for this game against Watford. And if we do this, we have a great chance to get off them. And just on that note, along come Norwich and Bartley and Norwich, 2 supporters clubs I'm sure you know well. They're appealing for people to bring scarves, wave the scarves in the air, hold the scarves up. I mean, we can't have the flags there because of the COVID restrictions, what have you. But I know you love all this kind of stuff. You love the great atmosphere. I'm sure you're applauding that and hoping that fans all bring their scarves to join in.
Yes, do this. So make sure that it's not one yellow wall, there are 4 yellow walls. But don't forget also, like, by holding the scrub wrap, you have to do this with your teeth, and then you clap your hands, and then don't forget to scream. So it has to be unbelievably noisy. We need to create an atmosphere where everyone is really, really impressed, and the players can't afford to stand still for one moment anyhow. So we need to create this atmosphere with positivity and cheering up, and then we have a good chance to get off the mark then all together.
Brilliant. Thank you, Daniel. All the best. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, everyone. As always, we'll send the recording of this press conference around shortly. Thank you.